Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is your host, June Archer. You're inside the winner's circle, and I'm here with Meech and Miles, BMF. We here. We're gonna get right into it. Meech and Miles, I just want to say the both of you are making some magic happen this season. I want to start with you first, Meech. Um, Season 2, you come out with a bang, and you ain't playing no games. How does it feel first to have a second season? Not that we were surprised, but to have a second season and be able to walk a foot in your pop's steps and really make that magic happen.
Man, it really felt, words can't describe how I felt just because I didn't know how any of it was gonna happen. I couldn't have planned this. I couldn't have thought about this when I was younger. It just happened. Like it just got placed in my lap, and I had to go take it because it still wasn't like it was given to me. I still had to go work and use my real emotions and watching my dad get taken away from me and into acting. Once I found out that acting was using my emotions, so it was different things that I felt like once I really buckled down and knew what I wanted to do and knew that I was going to outwork anybody that was trying to go in my position, I knew I had it. And all I had to do is be natural. I already knew I have the same, me and my father have the same mannerisms. It's just some stuff that I just got from him naturally. So once I put myself in his shoes and understand where he was, back then in his life, it's not hard for me to, get attached and play him, so that's why I felt like all I had to do was just be natural, man. That's all I was going for, be natural, trying to be the best I could be and be truthful and not lie. So I'm glad that it worked out and that I'm able to, actually kill it and people love it because every day I see how people love it more and more.
I mean, it more than worked out, Meech. Let's just keep it 100 right now, right? Uh, it it could have been a layup, but when you talk about putting in the work, I want you to talk about this uh, and touch on it because there's a lot of people who will say, "Oh, he just got that because his
Oh,
pops,"
nah.
or he got that because there's a relationship between.
Right.
Let's talk about hard work, man. Yeah, you put in the work, but
Okay,
some
let's
people
talk
say you
about
wasn't
hard
with
work.
me when I was shooting in the gym.
Right.
You have that Kobe Bryant mentality, you got that Ray Allen mentality, you got that Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan. Like, what is it? Because putting in the work is one thing, but take me to the next
So
level. What
look,
does that
so
mean,
look,
though,
let
for
me
some
so look,
people?
let me show you when I first met 50 in Atlanta, and he told me he wanted me to play my father. He had to move me to LA, pay for my acting classes. When I was going to acting classes, I thought it was sweet. I thought acting was just read lines. I didn't understand that you had to show your emotions. I was still being stuck up and being a closed person. I didn't want to show my emotions. Tasha Smith was my acting coach. She know how to bring it out of you. So she was already letting me know, hey, listen, imagine your mom and dad in the casket right here in front of me, and I want to watch your eyes. If something don't happen, you lying. You're not telling the truth. Because if you was at your
Mm,
mom and dad funeral right now looking at the casket, you'll be bawling, you'll be crying. Because Tasha know how much I'm a family man, just like my dad. So when I seen from that day, from that exercise, that let me know what acting was and how serious it was and how I can't just fake that, and Tasha let me know like it's somebody out there that wants your spot. So either you gonna try hard and get it, or you gonna let somebody else come take it because they ain't gonna give you it just because your dad is. So I had to
nah.
go to acting classes 2 times a day, 6 in the morning and 6 at night.
Mm.
After I leave the morning class, I gotta go take a nap and go back to the other class. I do that Monday through Friday, except Saturday and Sunday, 2 times a week. 2 times a day, every week, until I had to audition for Starz just to get the role for my daddy. I had to learn how to act before I could even audition to even play my daddy. 50 couldn't give me the job, even though he paid for my acting classes. Stars could have still said no if they didn't like me. They didn't like my
Absolutely.
audition.
So
So
you
people
was
gotta,
you were working like somebody was trying to take your lunch money. That's what you were doing.
for sure. I didn't get to see my mom, my grandma, my family members are sick. I usually go visit my dad in jail every month. I couldn't do that no more. I couldn't do a lot of stuff, man. I had to put a lot of stuff on hold and pick what I wanted to do, pick what I wanted to really use my time wisely and do, So I didn't have time for a lot of the old stuff I was doing, man. I had to take that serious. So once a lifetime opportunity that you get to play a movie role that's a lead role at that and get a chance to do this, like it's once in a lifetime opportunity. I could not let it pass me by, even if I didn't hit it. As long as I know I tried my hardest, I would have been happy with that. But I wasn't accepting no anyway. I knew that I was gonna get it. I knew this role was made for me because nobody can play this part better than me unless it's my dad. You know.
Absolutely. Miles, B. Mickey, my guy. You are caught up in a couple of different emotions, uh, falling in love, falling in like, but also trying to be loyal, trying to
Yeah.
make sure you don't toe the line, trying to
Yeah.
make sure you're not snitching. You go through a plethora of emotions this season. How were you able to prepare for this role this season to allow us to believe you? Because right now, people not gonna like you, bro. Let's just keep it 100.
Man, they wasn't liking me when the first season ended, man. They was asking me why I was in the interrogation room and why is Detective Bryant talking to me, what have you. But yeah, this next season it was more so just me preparing for that, and not just my character, myself. And once I prepared for, so once I got myself a better understanding of what was to come and what was expected, I was able to go into it a little bit differently, understand how to differentiate, how to keep away, what I'm saying, the storyline between me and Detective Bryant behind Meech's back, and also me, what I'm saying, Meech, what I'm saying, shit, keep that away from Detective Bryant, but also having two bodies and a gun and my mother's life over my head. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard. I'm pretty sure it was very difficult as a character to cope and maneuver around all those things. But it was fun as an actor to show, what I'm saying, the different sides of him. And I was playing a character playing two different characters. You know what I mean? So it had very much a lot of depth to it.
The both of you dive deep this season. I want to tell y'all, man, I love both of y'all for what y'all doing, what y'all represent for the culture and for young people. Before I let you go, I want to start with you first, Miles. I always tell people music is a soundtrack to our lives. What song best represents your journey up to this point, or what song do you listen to get into your character to say, man, it's B Mickey time.
Man.
This is what I'm gonna do.
Oh my gosh. What song?
I'm gonna let you off the hook. What artist?
Well, artist. Okay, yeah. We're getting a little bit better. We're getting a little bit better. Um, Shoot, probably some Nas, you know what I'm saying? Some New York State of Mind, you know what I'm saying? Illmatic, get him in that vibe, I love Nas. So like I would listen to Nas on the way to set, just to get that street, that element, you know what I'm saying? That vibe. But yeah, I would say Nas for sure to get me.
All right, Meech, Detroit representative. You know the vibes. Um, Come on, give it to me, bro. What are you listening to get you in that mood, or what song? Your dad been around a lot of music, a lot of entertainment. For you, what motivates you when it comes to music? Who is that artist for you?
Oh, I feel like Jay-Z.
The Jigga Man himself.
Jay-Z. He really just gave me that it's Jay-Z and 50 because I feel like that New York feeling just different. Even though they both got different sounds, they both hit like just talk about real life experiences and just their wordplay is just crazy. But they definitely give us that motivation early morning too when I need to go to set and be pumped up, get in my mode. That's what I listen to for real.
Man, listen, so proud of y'all. Keep doing what y'all doing. Ladies and gentlemen, this
Okay.
is Meech, Miles. You can catch them on Starz, BMF. Check your local listings. I promise you, this season, you're going to want to know how it's going to go down. But I promise you, there's so many twists and turns. It's going to be crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, Miles, Meech, I'm your host, June Archer. This is the Winner Circle. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is your host, June Archer, Winner Circle, here with the amazing, comparable Steve Harris, plays Detective Bryant, BMF, and the amazing Kelly Hugh, Detective Chen. I just want to say the both of you are in for the ride of your life this season. Steve, it seems as though you have a thing for this guy Meech, and it's a scratch you trying to itch, and you just can't get to it. Kind of reminiscent of Tom and Jerry, you know, that whole cat and mouse game.
Yes.
Why is this itch something that you just can't get your hands on, that you got to get to it so bad, brother?
Well, the key issue in this is that we started out close. And you know, nothing affects you more than when somebody close hurts you, right? When he kills my partner, or when the partner subsequently is killed, when the guy that I delivered to him gets killed and we find the body, it changes the relationship. The relationship was a little different. I was his coach before. I've watched the game, and he in the game now. I'm helping him actually understand how he's supposed to sort of ride in this game. I get a little bit off on the side, and we keep it moving. And I was happy with that. The moment you violate that by putting bodies on me, it changes the relationship. The moment that happens, and how many different degrees still responsible in light of that, then I'm gonna turn on you. And I'm going to go at you like you are my greatest enemy, which he turns out to be. So it makes perfect sense for me and my character, because I think, you know, like I said, there are different levels to being dirty. I don't think that was a place that he was ever willing to go. And when you put me out like that, then let me just try to clean up my act to go get you, because I got to get you now. And I think that's what's really driving me. I mean, Tom and Jerry is ideal, except, Tom, I mean, the cat never really caught the mouse. It might take a while, but I'm catching them, bro.
I'm gonna catch you. Like Jay said, it was all good
I was
just a
about to
week
say
ago.
something wrong, but I was like, okay, you still, you got to watch your language a little bit here. But yeah.
Kelly, for you make an amazing, amazing addition to this cast for so many different reasons, especially being a woman of color doing her thing. You stand up for Detective Bryant in one regard, and you're trying to figure out the same scratch, the same itch that I'm talking about. For you, he has a respect for you as a woman and as a partner. How important is that relationship to build that trust as law enforcement in the time where they weren't so nice to people of color?
Yeah, I think Jin coming into the force, being a woman alone, dealing with all that sexism, right? The misogyny. And then also being of Asian descent, where, there were not a lot of Asians in Detroit at the time. But she has so much to prove. And with Bryant, her partner, all she wants is to work together with him. All she wants is some transparency and to be able to rely on him like a partner, because when you're a cop, your life depends on your partnership. And she is trying so hard to get through to him. And I think that is her biggest hurdle in coming into this new job of hers, is really trying to get Bryant to work with her as a partner.
Now you're battling Bryant, you're trying to make your way, but you're also battling some demons that we're going to be seeing this season. I want to talk about mental health as law enforcement and as just people, period. Jen is going through some stuff. Brian is going through his thing, and he's trying to figure this thing out. And he really can't be upstaged, Detective Brian. So you're battling that. Talk about the mental health piece and why it's so important now more than ever that we support those who need that support and those resources. Kelly, you first.
I am such a believer in therapy and counseling. I've gone through, I wish I had more money just so I could have therapy all my life. It's really great to be able to have that, but it's a luxury. It's a luxury for a lot of people to be able to get counseling and seek therapy. And I wish that our communities were more open to it. I think it's getting better. But as a, as an actor, I know that it's helped me tremendously. I have personally been through so much therapy, and it's really, I can't, say more great enough great things about it. I I just feel like it has to be more acceptable in our communities to seek help. And seeking help doesn't necessarily mean that it's a weakness, but it's strengthening yourself. And, everybody needs therapy at some point in their life. And I guess that's why we build relationships, right? But let me tell you, your friends are sick of hearing about your stuff. Like, that's a good way to be losing all your friends. I mean, really. Now, also, you just need sometimes another point of view, somebody who can help point you in the right direction, just so you can sort of figure things out yourself. And so, yeah, I think that this show, helps give us a great understanding of how people need to get mental help, to get help for so many of our stresses and problems and things that are going on.
My
Steve,
feeling about
Steve, same question for you, but I want to flip it just a little bit. As a black man, black and brown men feel like this is not something that they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to have emotions,
yes,
right?
agreed. Yes.
How important is it? And it has to step past just being in the barbershop, Steve,
Right,
right? Or
right.
being on a basketball court, or
Yeah.
being in the club talking to your boys. Like, how important is it that we demystify this for black and brown men?
Well, I think it's tantamount to our growth and evolution. Okay. The irony that this is taking place, the show takes place in right now in the 80s and 90s, right? And when you think about it, this is unheard of in our community. Like, hey, yo, you can't even think about, you can't even, you bring that up, somebody about to bop you upside the head, and something's gonna happen, right? You thought of, as she pointed out before, you're weak and fragile, and you can't, I think that's twofold. I think as men, we've been brought up, one, that you got to handle business, period. It's your responsibility to do so when you brought up from a certain area. That's what you book. And then two, as black men being marginalized by so many different factors, you feel like now you have to, like, you would got to do twice as much to get halfway there. And that never involves asking anybody for help. That never involves that sort of thing unless, there's somebody right next to you doing the same thing, right? So I think I think now that it's getting better. I do agree with that. I would love for it to get a grassroots movement behind it, to the degree we've had other things have grassroots movements, and not just. But I'm saying in our culture for that to happen, black men and women, because I think when you really look at our history and you really evaluate what's going on, is that there was one time less than 50 years ago when a white dude called you a boy and there was nothing you could do about it being a grown man. So what you did about that was then you would turn around and you maybe internalize that. And then, but the one person who had to get all of that grief may have been your partner, whoever she was, or your wife. And because they were still on the totem pole, but even lower than you to some degree when you think about it. So I think for the growth of our culture, and I'm not saying anything about Kelly and other people, that they absolutely, I think it's profound for everybody to have, but specifically for us having understanding that you can still be strong, you can still be a man, you can still have these conversations and open yourself up to be vulnerable in order to take in what you might need to heal. Subsequently, you can grow. So yeah, I think this was we didn't really dabble into it as deeply as we are kind of talking about it now, of the importance of how it needs to be taken on and needs to be dealt with. but we do touch on it, and it's a great part to Kelly's character that we get to touch on it, because it may not be something that we understand in the different ways that people have to deal with it, but all of us understand that we have stuff we have to deal with. And sometimes that stuff is bigger than we can necessarily handle at that moment. And asking for a little help ain't that bad. And I think that we got to get that, we got to get asking for help as comfortable as we can in regards to this, as about as comfortable as we can in order to propel the culture beyond where it is.
Kelly, thank you so much for diving deep this season with your character. Steve, you and your brother Wood, I appreciate two brothers from the Chi giving us the best versions of themselves as Black men. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Harris, Kelly Hugh, Starz, BMF, please tune in this season. It's going to be a nail biter. This is your man, June Archer. This is the Winner Circle. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Peace.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am your host, June Archer. This is the Winner Circle. I am here with two amazing human beings making their magic happen. One, the amazing McCole Brianna White, and of course, this brother right here, you know him, you love him, Russell Hornsby, the Flannerys on Starz, BMF. I just got to start with you, Miss McCole. You are displaying something that we love to see in Black women who are unapologetically walking in their dopeness, loving on their children, trying to love their Black man, keep their family together. How does it feel to be in season 2 to be able to display all of this for us to fall in love with your character?
It feels amazing. I'm so excited to be a part of this show and this incredibly authentic story, and to be able to share a story about real people, this real family, and to represent them in the best way possible, and to show Black love on television. I'm so excited and so honored.
Russell, for you, you have children. You're a husband. You know what it feels like to have to be there, provide. You know those 3 things they talk about, right? Food, clothing, and shelter. In this season, you're struggling with a couple of things, and you're trying to keep it together. What is the best piece of advice you could give to someone who is trying to keep it together, especially during these times?
As hard as it can be, what I would suggest, you have to add, the cliche is, it'll always get better and everything like that. But I think, I'm gonna keep it honest. Get a room. Go find a room for yourself. Go find a place of solitude, and meditate. But look to the heavens. Look to God and tell Him what's going on, how you feel, and cry. Let that pain out. Get vulnerable. And one of them deep ones. You know what I mean?
Black boys, Russell. Black boys are taught to be tough. They're taught. Mama would say, Russell, don't go out there tell nobody your business.
No, listen, it's true. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, because the thing is, again, the pain is deep. Do you know what I'm saying? And even when you have it, even when you quote unquote have it together, it still hurts. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to take a moment for yourself to acknowledge what you are feeling, to acknowledge the hardship, to acknowledge the pain that you're going through, to acknowledge the hills and valleys that you have to go through. And sometimes it's really, honestly, about letting that shit out. Because the thing is, it's going to be there no matter what, right? So you have to let it out, breathe deeply, and then go, it's coming. and then open that door and say, okay, what's next? It ain't going no place. Do you know what I mean? But you got to give yourself just a moment, just to let that feeling, let that pain out, so you can handle some more.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just, I mean, honestly, like I've done it, do it. You know what I mean? And also that, in all honesty, if you don't have the opportunity to go talk to somebody, if you don't have the opportunity to go to therapy or to be able to let that out to somebody, to get that weight off of you for a moment, release it for a moment, or release it, period. You know, that's what I'll say. Cause I think that, honestly, like you said, like, we're taught to be tough, and we're taught to say that, hey, I can do it. But I'm telling you, man, sometimes when you just shed them tears, ooh, boy, it's that release. When you finish, you go, oh, that felt good.
Weight lifted.
Weight lifted. It's just like that hug you get when you lose a family member, somebody passes, and you get that hug, and you know how you grab that hug, and all of a sudden, bam, just the floodgates release, and that person just holds on to you even tighter and tighter and tighter, and that lasts about 3 to 5 minutes sometimes, and you just go, and it's all out. You so tired of crying, you got nothing to do now. You got nothing, you know what I mean? Now I'm ready. Ooh, man, I needed that. You say that. Man, thank you. Damn, I needed that. Thank you.
Nicole, for you, Lucille is in turmoil. How did you prepare to give us what I think people are going to realize, some really great work? You dive deep. Lucille is battling pastor, husband, children, daughter, finances. How do you keep it together as a Black woman? You are the most disrespected. You are the pillar and the backbone of our community. How do you keep it together, Lucille?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think, and Lucille, you just keep showing up and trying to do the best you can, and being as present as possible. And I think that what Lucille is learning most is that all the things that she gives out to so many other people, that she needs to give back to herself. And I think what's on the outside is somewhat a reflection of the inside, the turmoil that's on the inside that needs to be healed, lifted, honored, and taken care of. And you just don't know all the answers along the way. You just don't. You just show up and be present as possible. And an old therapist of mine would always say, you live your way into the answers. And so I don't think she expects to be anywhere she is on this journey, especially from the beginning to the end of season 2. But she finds strength within, from somewhere, and from her higher self too.
I appreciate y'all, and I think people are going to come to appreciate seeing the both of you giving us Black love that is struggling to find answers, Black love that holds on to love. If I could ask one more thing before I get out of here, what artist best represents your journey up to this point that you put on and it makes you feel good and gets you in a zone? I'll start with you first, Nicole. Who is that artist for you?
Who is the artist that inspires me most?
Yes.
Honestly, just as an actor, I don't know, like, coming up for me that I had like somebody that I wanted to represent as an actor, really. And I hope this is the question that you're asking me, but I can say that my grandparents are probably my biggest inspiration for doing what I do. And my grandparents kind of came from nothing and they built an empire, and they owned a funeral home and a cemetery, and them living their dreams made it possible for me to live mine. And so I think they're my biggest inspiration to be able to do what I do. And my mom, who was a model when she was younger and put me in modeling school. And then I got to go to my first acting class because of that I had that support. And that's probably what inspired me the most. And next to that, I would say one of the people whose journey I do really respect a lot and I am inspired by at this point in my life, and who I do consider a friend, is Viola Davis. It has been a big inspiration to me, and watching her journey and how she's handled everything has been a really big inspiration to me.
For you, Russell, what artist or song best represents your journey up to this point?
It's two, and it's when I read and when I hear this person's words, it's the words, and I listen. It's the words that penetrate so deeply. So first one is August Wilson. I always say to people, he helped raise me. You know what I mean? The work, his material, working on it, and his legacy. And so it's so specific to who I am, but also to who we are and who we have been historically. And it cuts, it penetrates, it just makes you feel. And then also, still to this day, the man who just gets me up and gets me so enlivened and passionate is Tupac. You know, the man had such a vibrancy and such a passion and a fearlessness that when I really listen to what he's saying, when I listen to him express himself, his heart, his pain, his spirit, that also penetrates deeply for me and gets me prepared. It gets me up, it gets me ready. It becomes like sort of, both of them become sort of a coat of arms, if you will, that I feel impenetrable, because I feel protected, because I have their that vocal ferocity and that literary specificity. You know what I mean? And those two.
That ferociousness steps out, and we appreciate you. Nicole, Russell, thank you so much for what is going to be an amazing season. Russell, I will walk by you on the streets of New York time to time, and I have to tell you, you have been the same person that you've always been. From Get Rich or Die Trying to BMF. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Nicole, Russell Hornsby, BMF on Starz. Please check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy June Archer here, the winner's circle, with the amazing Sydney Mitchell, Da Vinci, and of course my sister Lala Anthony. I just got to say this: y'all are like bringing back memories of the famous Lost Boy song, "Me and My Crazy World." There's a web going on here that's being spun, and seeing that you're the minority, Da Vinci. Let me start with you, brother. You are doing such an amazing job. Season 2, out the game, but one foot in the bathtub, the other one on the banana peel. How do you feel about your representation of a brother trying to do good, but the game is trying to bring him back?
How do I feel?
Yeah, brother, talk to me.
I feel like, man, this is probably one of the toughest things ever in life, you know, for me. Like when I'm in the character, because they're both two life-altering decisions, and one of them, I feel like the streets, that's being pushed on me by my environment, and environment is more important than anything in this world. You know what I'm saying? If you can take one of the brightest kids and you put them in a really rough environment, that's gonna alter their entire perspective on life. But at the same time, you know, I have that's pulling me there, but it's like I want to, go do things the right way, make my mother happy, make my family happy. But it's like the environmental factors are just overpowering and consuming me so much that I'm just like, at some point I can't juggle those two worlds because you could only sit on a fence until a certain point, and I'm trying to do that, but it's like one is going to drop, and I think the streets is just going to ultimately win.
Lala, my sister, let me just say this. Another amazing performance. You find a way to bring out the best in your male characters. And here it is once again. You putting your magic and your spin on Da Vinci and his character. For you, what allowed you to really dive into this character and give us a little different side of you outside of what we've normally seen?
Well, for me, it was like, portraying a woman who is meeting this younger guy and getting this new energy that she hasn't had in a long time, especially, being in a dysfunctional and abusive marriage. So now it's like this new person giving you energy. And at first you're just like, this is a young kid. I don't want to pay this any mind. And then you start really getting to know him and seeing his leadership, his passion, who he really is. And then you want to really bring that out. And as a woman, I think any woman in a relationship should try to always bring out the best in their man. I think that's an important quality. Like, you want your man to be the best he can be. So I just tapped into that with Markeisha and Terry, and I hope it plays out on screen, and I hope people get invested in this relationship because it's an incredible relationship. It's also very complicated. It's very layered. You have Lawanda and her whole family dynamic there as well. So it's not smooth sailing by any means, but at the core, it's two people that genuinely love and care for each other.
I want to talk about those layers, Lawanda. Sydney, what does Lawanda do in this situation? You have a baby by this Flannery brother, but you're a pawn this season in some aspect. How do you juggle the two, and how did you find yourself in the situation, Lawanda?
I feel like, at some point Lawanda gets like to the point where she's, says by any means necessary. So I got to do what I got to do to keep my family together, whether it's, linking up with his mom or, doing certain things. I don't want to give away too much, but that Terry's not going to like, but she wants to keep him. And so at the end of the day, she's going to do what she has to do to do that and to have her family. So everything's fair game this season.
Lala, you've been in a multitude of different casts making your magic happen. How does this one feel? And what is the relationships like on set with this new BMF family for you?
It's an incredible environment, coming off of Power where we really built a family. That was 6 seasons of just being in the trenches every single day. You really build a great dynamic. And now in season 2 of BMF, I see a similar dynamic being built there where there's friendships offset. You spend so much time with the people you work with. You can't help but get invested in their lives and what they have going on. And I think what's great about that is that also translates on screen when you're playing, you have BMF playing a crew. You want to really feel like, oh, they're a crew. They really got each other's back. And then I think that comes from really getting to know people and really investing in real relationships with them. So I think it plays out, and it's an incredible cast to be on. I just feel very blessed and fortunate, and I'm excited to more that's to come.
Da Vinci, for you, family means everything for these brothers. And this season, people are going to see some things that go down that test you, whether it's your sister, the relationship with your mom, and then, of course, there's Meech, but even more so, you and your dad are going to be coming head to head in a lot of different ways. For you, how dynamic is the relationship with a father and a son? And why is it important for young men of color to have that father figure in their life?
It's very important for young men, Black people, Black and brown people to have their father in their life, because statistically, it just shows like we lack that a lot. So it's kind of fire that he has that. But it's also a little aggravating for him because him joining the car business with his lawsuit money, he's like, I'm independent now. I'm grown now. Like I'm done with Meech, but literally he found himself being in another Demetrius Flannery situation because now his father is kind of being just like Meech, and he's like, damn it. So that right there is a little annoying. And so it's dope at the same time that he has that bond with him, but he's a little annoyed because at the end of the day, Terry has the soul of a leader. And, he's a big dog. So that's kind of annoying being under his father, and he's gonna have to try to navigate that, and just get out of his father's wings.
This question is for Lala and Sydney. How important is it for y'all to represent women of color the way y'all do on screen, that they little Black and brown girls look up to you to try to make, because we are not perfect. We are going to err. We are human, but to be the best version of themselves as little Black and brown queens, how important is it for you to be the best version of yourself, not just on screen, but in real life? I'll start with you first, and then Lala, take us home.
I think, for as an actress in general, for young Black girls to be able to see us, playing certain roles is super important because, it allows them to see that they can do that they can be actresses. And especially now, like where women of color are everywhere on television, they can watch and be like, okay, I can do this, and playing certain roles as doctors, lawyers, strong Black, female characters, superheroes. It's important for young Black girls to see that. And I think that, I think it's good for, I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry, but, but I think it's good for, oh my God, what the hell? I feel like, Lala, you pick it up.
I was just to piggyback off what you said, it's incredibly important, and also understanding that, the work that goes into it, but anyone can do it. It's not like we were born into this or we came, with a silver spoon in our mouth. Like, I got it from the trenches and turned it into something. So if I could do it, somebody else can as well. And I want to be that motivation. As far as the character goes, I don't always agree with, try not to judge, but I don't always agree with some of my characters' choices when it comes to men or relationships. So I don't want to be an example always, in the choices some of these characters make, but an example of strong Black women on TV and make, people understand you can do this too is a responsibility. And I think it's definitely important.
Right. And I feel like I got it, guys. Sorry. I feel like, us playing these characters that we wouldn't necessarily want, young Black girls to follow in their direction. They can also learn from them on TV. Right. They can see and they can relate to them. They can be like, oh, wow, I'm going through this right now. And, kind of see the choices we make. Okay, I would never do that. Let me not do that. Or I would do that, so they can learn through LaWanda and Markeisha or, whoever we're playing.
Well, y'all are relatable and y'all are real. Da Vinci, Sydney, Lala, y'all could check them out. Check your local listings. Starz, BMF, second season. It goes down. It's going to be incredible. I'm your host, June Archer. This is the Winner Circle. Lala, respectfully, my sister, I'm going to hit you with the DM because I got a surprise for you that you are going to love. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Winner Circle. This is June Archer. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless y'all. Peace.
Bye, June. I'll see you soon.
Love you, sis.
Love you.
Thank you, Sydney.
Bye. Thank you.